What are some of the, like, especially as those people have been popping, saying, I really want this. How is it resonating in their hearts? What are some of the common themes that is coming out of the longing of their hearts, and how this is hitting them well?
That's a great question. I think there may be as many answers to that as there are people. Things like, I've always known I should be doing X or Y or Z, but I didn't really know how to go about it. Once they have done X, Y, or Z, they find out indeed it's very fulfilling and, really met some of the desires of, how they hoped the Lord might use them.
So you've seen it resonating with this sense of longing of, hey, I want something different. I just don't know exactly how to do it. And so this is providing them that a sense of a knowledge of a better way to get engaged with the things that are on their hearts. As you've been training the people over the last number of years, especially here in North America, what are some of the more common awakenings or the gaps that are being revealed that people are realizing, oh, I need to change this in my life if I'm going to be a disciple worth multiplying like this?
There are some patterns. One is people realize how much of their life spiritually has been consuming, where they're just receiving, and haven't been, making opportunities then to pour into others. Many times here in North America, people tend to have the experience or, an unstated assumption that our spiritual life is just one part of our life. And so, there's our spiritual life, there's our life at work, there's our life at home, there's our life, doing whatever we do for relaxation or, all of that. And these are viewed almost separately. And then coming to the realization that no, all of this is intended to be affected and impacted and guided by our kingdom identity. And so that holistic view, and related to that is how people view time. And so, there seems to be a kind of an attitude of a poverty of time here in North America. And people never feel like they have enough time to do the things they need to do. But when viewed from a kingdom perspective, the question becomes, how can I use this time in a way that glorifies the Lord and advances the kingdom? And that's true whether it's as a parent or as a spouse or as an employee or an employer and so on. And some of these just sort of worldview changes may be, in some senses, a bigger issue than the specific tools.
So as you've seen people like overcoming these internal obstacles, these even maybe there's some external obstacles, and they've been putting into practice what they're learning, what's some of the fruit that people have been pouring out of their lives as they start to walk in step with the Spirit in these ways?
One that I hear very frequently is how people become more aware of the Lord speaking to them and communicating with them, and that giving sort of a new vitality, a new vibrancy, because they're having this constant interaction with the Lord, and also a sense of responsibility for those that they're living with, living among, and those that they're ministering to. The depth of their relationships with others is often significantly impacted. This fulfillment maybe that comes from being used. I referred earlier to our tendency for, in many cases, to be largely consumers in our spiritual lives, but the opportunity to be a contributor and to, be playing the part for which the Lord designed us. That sort of fulfillment is often another result.
So what are some foundational steps that people could begin to take right away to engage in this kind of new disciple making lifestyle?
Yeah, one of the easiest would be to take zume.training. It's free. It's a self-directed process. If you do have questions, you can click and request a coach, and have somebody who's a practitioner to answer any questions or guide you through the process. My strong suggestion would be get a group of people to do it together, and really 4 to 12 people, anywhere in that range is an appropriate size. And it helps provide some of the interaction that really helps the learning process, and some accountability and some encouragement. And so, just taking that step, yeah, the principles, of the approach aren't complicated, and the tools aren't complex, but it's like a lot of things that are important. They're simple, but not easy. So, I think it is important to really feel the Lord's calling you to pursue this, because I'm confident you will be tested if you begin to pursue this.
Could you even share, like, how are people often tested when they engage in this?
Yeah, it's remarkable how coincidentally, right after seriously deciding to pursue this type of ministry, that people encounter significant health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, problems at work, problems, that are really severe. And in some senses, it's no surprise to them, because as part of the training, we mention, this is a way to get a spiritual target on your back in a sense. And how we respond to persecution and suffering is one of the 4 main ways we talk about in terms of how people grow as disciples. It's one that doesn't get a lot of press here in North America, but there are numerous places in Scripture that talk about how persecution or suffering can grow us in our faith and in our discipleship. But many of those are contingent upon our proper response.
And that's a part of the training and the larger support network, is how to be responding well inside of those troubles and sufferings.
Yes, that's right.
And what have you seen in your experiences in other countries, from the other movements, and even what we're seeing here in North America? How does prayer fit into that? And how would you recommend people get ready for?
Yeah. So prayer is both in a sense, a prerequisite and a primary piece of these multiplicative movements. There are significant ways that we seek to encourage prayer, both with individuals and in corporate prayer. There are other prayer resources, and it's, of course, a significant part of the training. So yes, prayer is a critical aspect.
Well, thanks for this introduction, Curtis, and I look forward to the chance that you'll be able to share more. And we've got lots of great places to start out of what it is you've shared with us.
Well, good. Good to talk with you, John.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye for now.